What's up, Skyhawks? Welcome back to the Skyhawk Talk. I'm your host, Catherine Sweeney, and today I am here with a junior catcher on the men's baseball team here at Stonehill, Cam Morrison.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome on.
Thank you.
Let's do this.
Cool.
All right. So, for the people who don't know you, how would you describe yourself off the field?
I try to think of myself as a leader. Try to be as outgoing as I can be. I think I developed that throughout high school and stuff, just trying to be an engaging person, I guess, so to speak. But yeah, no, I just try to be as outgoing as possible. Try to make more connections that I can and meet more people. So
Very nice. So you're a catcher.
Yes.
Do you feel like that position says something about your personality?
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit. I think in a way, I guess like a leadership role, I'm able to see the whole field from where I'm at, which is different than every other position, which is fun. So I treat it as like my own chess game in a way.
Your own chess game.
Own chess game.
So you're like a chess player.
Kinda, yeah. I kind of learned it from my little brother because he plays chess a lot, and I can see his eyes gandering in a different way, and I was like, ooh, I kind of like this. It's kind of different.
Interesting.
So yeah, I mean, trying to shift different guys depending on what the situation presents itself, and if it's a bunt scenario, making sure that everybody's in their correct spots, and just trying to give a little layout to what we have to do for whatever play is on or whatever it is. So yeah, I love it. I love my own little game within the game. So yeah.
Very nice. Game within the game.
Game within the game.
Wait, okay. So a bunt is when the hitter just like goes
squares
like that
out,
and
holds it, just sitting there. Hopefully
then it just like
bunts it.
falls basically right in front of them.
If they do it right. Yeah. Yeah, that's usually the goal. It's usually like right on like that infield cut is where you're trying to land it, and then it's like chaos from there. But
how do you know about that as a catcher?
First, just try to make sure that everybody's in their right spot. Making sure like usually when those situations come up, there's a lot of chaos already presenting itself. That's like, hey, like make sure that you're calming your mind down and you get into the right spot. And if I have to go get it, I'll go get it. Like I love doing it. But everybody, we've worked on it for so long that if you're in the right spot, you can get the job done. And just knowing like first and second, if bunt's hit hard enough, you can go to third. If you can get a double play ball, whatever it is, just making sure that your mind is in the right spot to make the correct decision and not going so fast and your thoughts are going all over the place that, creates even more chaos. So, no, I love it.
So you've told me that you fell in love with the grind of baseball early on.
Yes.
What was it about baseball that pulled you in?
I think it's just the game of failure and trying to be perfect in a game of failure. I learned that from a coach growing up. I think I was like 10 or 11 at the time, and he was like, this game is literally called a game of imperfection for a reason. You have 3 hits and 10 at-bats. You're one of the best hitters in the league. So just trying to be perfect in an imperfect game is something that I guess just continuously just keeps me going, because it's like today could be awful and tomorrow could be the greatest day of your life, and I think I've taken that into life itself as well. And, even if today's a bad day, it's like tomorrow can be the best day of your life, so how prepared are you going to be from learning what today was to bring it into tomorrow and taking the good out of it and taking the positive, and then you just roll with it. And if that positive doesn't work and the different positives there, then you take the different positive and you just keep going with it. And we kind of said it like I was growing up, and he was like, just stay like head level. If you stay head level the whole time, you're fine. If you get too high, you might fall down. If you're too low, you might drown. I was like, that's a good saying.
That is a good saying.
You can take that wherever you want. And I definitely think in the game of baseball, it's super key to just stay present. Like that first at bat, you might strike out, and the next one you might hit a homer. But how ready are you for that next at bat? Because if you're not ready for it, then you're not going to get that homer pitch. You're not going to get that swing off that you need. And even if you're going into the field and you're still thinking about the last play, you're not going to be ready for the next one. So it's like, how level can you be? So
baseball really keeps you on your toes, sounds like.
Yeah. very, very much. It's fun though. I love it.
When did it go from just playing for fun to something that you wanted to take on seriously?
I'd say 8th grade, probably 7th or 8th grade. so probably like middle school. I just loved it. I think our high school team at the time was doing really well as well, and just seeing the competitiveness. I'm super competitive myself in my mind, and I know it was something that I just wanted to do for as long as I could, and just fell in love with it. And it's just been a blessing to keep going up to this level.
So staying close to home was a big factor for you when you were looking
Yeah,
at schools. How important was that in your decision to come here?
it was definitely important. Just having my family around, and I live 15 minutes away, Bridgewater, and I grew up around here. My dad's from Brockton. He actually grew up through the lot 17. There's a path, and it leads right to his house,
Oh
his
my
childhood
gosh,
house. So,
super close.
yep. And then my mom, she was grew up in Easton as well, so I'm very familiar with the area. And when I came here in high school, I was like, this is definitely a place that feels like home, just because of how close it is and the familiarity that I have with it. And then, I didn't really see any other necessary fit, I guess, because it was just like, why would you want to go anywhere else if you can be here and have all your support system come and watch, and you can grow here as well. It's so enclosed that I felt like it was too close to home at a weird point when I had first committed, and I got here and I was like, I feel like I'm still like an hour away from home, even though I'm 15 minutes away. So it
Really?
was like, yeah. So it was just, once I found my crew and, being around the baseball guys and stuff like that, and, hanging out, you don't even really think about it come, 8 p.m. and then you're like, oh, we got to do it again tomorrow. So it's like, I finally had that little escape, and it was like, yeah, no, I'm in a good spot here. So
Did being familiar with the area already make the transition to college easier for you?
for sure.
Mhm.
I mean, I grew up on Back Bay Bagel, and I've been around the area for so
Love
long
Back
that,
Bay.
you have Westgate up the street, you have all these places that I feel like for me, I helped the guys that were away from home be able to kind of set in, and, if you want to go grab food, I know like 5 spots that you want to go grab food. Let's go grab food or something like that. And I think that helped a lot of us, one, grow a better connection with each other, but also kind of get a familiarity with the area and everything like that. And I felt like in my own way, that was something that I had to do, just being a local guy and just being around, like, hey, you want to grab breakfast? I got a couple spots for you, and, show them around. And now they're loving those spots too now. So, just try to be as personal level with everybody, and just try to help out with knowing the area and stuff. So I love it. It's fun.
What made Stonehill feel like the right fit for you baseball wise?
I think, one, the transition up, more because I wanted to play at the Division I level, but I also knew that us being so new that I could come in and be an impact guy for us as well. You never know when you transition up what the switches might be, what it's going to take. And, us being so new, I felt like I wanted to be a part of that, just building that culture for the next 10, 20 years, just being able to say like, hey, this is the product that we put on the field to start, and this is our standard, and this is where you got to go and to keep it for however long that takes. So, I've been blessed and very honored to be here to start, and, who knows, we'll take it back.
So, speaking of the team, you've mentioned to me about the brotherhood of the team. What makes this group's bond so special?
I think definitely the upperclassmen, from guys years past, we definitely have preached having a lot of bonding together. Just hang out. If we hang out together, you can go ride with everybody for game days. And I think that's been something that we've put on our focal point throughout the whole year, is just how close can we be? Because when those high pressure situations come, like, can you trust him? Can you trust him to have your back? And I think we've had a really good process throughout the fall and the winter to have that bond this year. And it's been special. I mean, we've seen it this year, and we're going to continue to do it. That, we've all been super intertwined with one another with what we're trying to do and our approach and our process. And it's been great. I mean, I love those guys, and I love seeing how much we've grown throughout each week and each month, and being able to break it down like that and help like the underclassmen, the freshmen, understand like what we're trying to really do. I think has allowed them to kind of reset and kind of breathe a little bit as well with like, hey, like even if today was bad, we still are growing together. And you're going to have those ups and downs and those bumps in the road as well. And that's natural and that's life. But how do you bounce back from that? And I think we've been able to adjust better than years past to our process and getting back on track. And hey, you can have one good practice and go out there and do it right again. So no, I love those guys. I love those guys in the locker room. They're great. And I think, like I said, we've done a lot of work for us to build to this point that I think just going out there and having some fun with it too now is even more important.
I feel like it's pretty important to be close as a team, especially for baseball, because you guys spend a lot of time together.
A lot of time. A lot of time. Yeah.
How long has the longest baseball game been for you?
Here, one game I think was 16 innings that we had.
Ooh, how many hours is that?
It's like 4.5.
Ew.
I think.
Oh, God.
We've definitely done some double header days that are long as well, like closer to 5 hours.
Oh, God.
But I feel like once you're there, you kind of just lose track of time.
Yeah.
Like you can't really think about it.
Mm-hmm.
We did have a couple games down in like those nice schools at the start of the year that have the time on their jumbotron, and you're like, it's 7:00. This game started at 2.
Oh,
but that's also the fun of it too. If it's a 16-inning game, that somebody has to come out there with a win and somebody's losing. So you kind of just like after the 9th inning, you kind of just become like, who's actually going to win this game? Because it's like just going to be a back and forth from here on out. But yeah, 16 innings was a lot. I don't know how my body felt after that, but I think I was hurting. I probably was hurting, but I think we won. I hope we won. Yeah, it was worth it.
So some of your favorite memories are road trips.
Yeah.
What is one road trip moment that you'll never forget?
Florida this year. We're at Florida Gulf Coast, and Saturday came. We showed up to the field, had batting practice, started our stuff right before game time. We get told that our flight got canceled. Coming home. So that was right before the blizzard had happened, and I mean nobody was really complaining.
You're in Florida.
Yeah, we were hanging out in Fort Myers, so it wasn't like a problem. But that definitely helped us grow together as well, because we are literally together and nobody's leaving. So that was definitely an interesting moment, just because we didn't know if we're coming back and then have to bus down, or if we're busing there to Virginia or whatever, and we did. But yeah, no, that was an interesting couple of days for sure.
I bet.
Yeah, but I didn't get any snow, so it was fine. I mean, I would rather look at palm trees. So
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
How is that drive up to Virginia?
I think it was 18 and a half overnight.
Oh, God.
I think we had one stop. You kind of just eat it and you drive and you hopefully get there an hour earlier so you could do whatever. But yeah, no, that was we left at I think like 8 p.m. or like 7 p.m. and got there at 11:30 in the morning the next day. So I don't even know if that time even works out right, but yeah, it was a long ride.
Oh, gosh.
I remember for sure we went across the state to go up to Jacksonville, and by the time we got to Jacksonville, it was like late at night, and we like all looked at our phones and we're like, we're still in Florida, dude.
Oh, God.
We're still in Florida. We're still in Florida. We still have like 3 states to go through. So no, I mean that grew us together for sure, because who else are you gonna hang out with on the bus than the guys? So I think that definitely helped us understand like we're good. I mean, we went out there. We did this bus ride, you can go out there and win a couple games. So, no, that was definitely one of the longest bus rides I've had and weirdest experiences I've probably had in a while. So, yeah.
All right. I want to talk about your position a little bit more and go off of what you said earlier, which was you're kind of in the middle of everything.
Yeah.
How does that shape the way that you see the game compared to maybe other positions?
Yeah. For me, like growing up, I think it was always you have the view of the entire field. So I always grew up looking at the tendencies of what a batter does, maybe for like the pitch selections or even just setting guys up as well. For instance, we had a game against Central last weekend, and there was a big guy that stood like basically on the plate. So I was like, dude, let's just shift everybody over because even if he gets jammed in, like you can make that catch and we'll be fine. But if we go pull, if he takes it backside, then we have to have a little angle over there. And little do we know, I was right. And, it was a gap shot that we're a little closer on and made a routine than maybe a catch and maybe a drop where it's in the alley and it's a double. And, it's a whole different situation. So I love it. I love it because I get to just see everything and I get to see where guys are setting up themselves because we have these shift cards anyway. And also just trying to see what guys like are thinking about it. Not really thinking in the game. They're thinking other things and stuff and just try to reset everybody as well. I think that's one of the biggest things for me is just trying to calm everybody down. Understand like, hey, we got 2 outs. Understand the situation. Let's get out. Let's go hit. And then just being personal with the pitcher as well. Just trying to calm him down if he's going crazy and letting a couple loose that he doesn't have to. Then you go out there and you're just like, hey, you're good. You're good. Let's reset and just go out there and execute a good pitch. So I love it. I don't know if I can say that enough. It's something that keeps me on my toes because I have to be involved in every pitch that I have to be locked in. So if I'm locked in and I can keep you locked in, then you can trust me with what I got to do. And that's what I try to hold myself to a high standard just because everybody's looking at me. Because if I'm able to look at everybody else, everybody has to look at me. And if my body language is off or I'm still thinking about a different play that happened or my last at bat, what's he going to be doing? Like, can you trust me if I'm thinking about something else? And I don't want you to think that. I don't want you to have to contemplate if you can trust me to throw and execute this pitch or whatever it is. But that's why I hold myself to that standard, and I try to keep everybody accountable as well. Of like, hey, like, yeah, it wasn't your best swing, but you can't change it. So can you go out here and make me a good play and go in there and take that good play and take it into a good at bat? Can you do that and keep processing and keep moving forward? So yeah, no, I love it. Again, I can't say it enough. I can't.
I know you mentioned it before as well. It also kind of going off of that, you kind of take on a natural leadership role being a catcher. Do you take those qualities of being a catcher and being a leader and transform it into maybe life outside the field? Or
I definitely try to. Yeah. I've been fortunate enough to be coaching over at Giants Tacona and just helping them, I guess. Like I said, it's a game of failure. And if you can have that guy that is just able to relax everybody down a little bit and just kind of reset and refocus and have that little tunnel vision to you, you're going to go out there and succeed. Whether it's a good swing and he catches it, you have 9 guys that are trying to get you out, and having that understanding of what that looks like. You put off your greatest swing ever and still be out. And as awful as that feels, it's like, how can you take that into the next one? And we're definitely young this year, and I think that was a big role for me is from my prior experiences here and learning from the upperclassmen that I had. How can I bring those tools in to these younger guys as well and just be like, hey, like, yeah, you didn't have your best day. It's fine. Like, it is what it is. Like, what are you going to do now from learning from today and bring it into tomorrow? Because we play Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You're going to be in the lineup tomorrow. So what are you going to do better tomorrow that could help us be better, overall? It starts with everybody. We have 38, 39 dudes on that roster that, whether you're playing or not, like, are you making an impact? Can you give us a little noise to get this guy off the mound and, mess his timing up or whatever it is? So I just try to be a leader as best as I can be. Some days aren't as good as others, and I try to hold myself to that standard as well. So like I said, if you make a bad play, like, okay, it's baseball, it's a game, it's fine, but are you going to be ready and be able to wash it for the next one? Because it's going to come to you. Because I believe in you. I know that you can do it. Do you believe in yourself right now? Like, can you wash this and go? And, we have a little 30-second rule in the dugout. You get 30 seconds, and then I'll probably come over to you and I'll just calm you down a little bit. And I try to keep a good tone as it relates to that, just because nobody needs to be yelling about it. Like you don't need the loud chaos to it, but like, hey, yeah, you messed up. It's
Move
fine.
on.
Yeah,
You're fine.
it's fine.
Can't
It's
change
cool.
it.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Go out there and make a diving play. Be a kid. Just do it. As simple as that sounds, it's almost exactly the answer too. Because of how different this game is. I saw a stat like 2 years ago. It's like 11 million different plays can happen within one baseball game. 11 million different possibilities. So what in those 1 in a million things are you going to do? Like it's just that simple. So just relaxing and just kind of go out there and just try to be as almost leader-esque, but also just personal as well. Just be like, hey, dude, we're still playing a game. So just go out there and have some fun with it.
So injuries are a big part of your journey.
Yes.
How have those experiences shaped you as an athlete?
Yeah. At 14, I had Tommy John. I'll show you. Hold on. See that?
Ooh.
Yeah. I don't know if the camera.
I don't know if the camera can see it, but it's a big
right on the
scar.
elbow. Yeah.
Ooh.
So I had Tommy John with an ulnar nerve displacement. So I don't have a funny bone in my elbow.
You
Fun
don't have
fact.
a funny bone?
Yeah. I don't.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So they at 14 they had to move that into like a little muscle in my elbow and then fix my UCL, which Tommy John at 14 isn't usually the injury that happens. It's usually, you're in like your 20s, closer to 30. So it was definitely a harder time. And then 2 weeks after the injury happened, COVID happened. So
Oh gosh.
I had to wait, I want to say almost 8 months till I could get to surgery.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, because the hospitals were closed and everything.
So
And
you were just in pain.
7 out of 8 to like 10 range every day
Oh my gosh.
at resting. Like I would sit here and I'd be in pain.
Wow.
If I move it up, it'd be in pain. It was just because the nerve itself would just move. So like it would snap in between my bone.
That is disgusting.
Yeah, sorry. That's probably not something that should be good. But
it's so interesting, but
yeah.
ow.
Yeah, so now if I like bang my elbow, it just hits the bone. So it's not funny at all. Yeah, no, it's definitely shaped me now because I had to sit there in that pain and I had to figure out who I was and what I wanted to really do. And, being 14, I was still a freshman in high school. I was trying to figure out what everything was going. And then also with COVID, like you had no idea what was going on with the entire world itself. And it's definitely shaped me to who I am today. And, my understanding of, the guys that are in the locker room who have Tommy John right now, like, just trying to help them with their process. It's a hard process. It's not fun. Some days are the worst days ever, and some days you feel like you could throw again, and then you're back to square one. It feels like the next day after. And just understanding what that process is like. Yeah, it's not fun. It's not at all. But I think that's, again, what's shaped me because I've understood what my process is every day and just understanding how you can take it from a day-to-day basis and putting your best foot forward every day. Because you put your best forward today, tomorrow, next day. Little do you know you have 3 really good days, and then you keep going and stacking them. Little do you know that whole month is good, and then you keep going and keep going. And then you learn, I've learned a lot from, understanding that the arm itself is also from the shoulder, and having a stronger back helps your shoulder helps your elbow. And, instead of ripping bicep curls like every lift, you actually focus on different parts and help strengthen everything. And, I think I was just so young that I was just like, this doesn't work. There's no way this works. And it actually does. So, it's definitely shaped me again to who I am today. But at the same time, I think it's also helped me in a way to build deeper connections with the guys as well, because I've been there. I've done it. I know what it's like. I know where you're feeling. I know the confusion in your brain that you're like, I don't understand how yesterday was good and today I can't even like pick up a ball. And just understanding like, hey, like that's going to happen. It's a part of the process. And how can you keep focus of like what we're trying to do to keep going and keep going. And yeah, I mean, like I said, it shaped me to who I am today, and I'm blessed for it. Even though it was the worst probably experience of my life, is actually the best at the same time. So yeah.
How do you get that injury? Was it from throwing or hitting?
Yeah, it was from throwing, I think. It was definitely probably like an overuse thing.
Yeah.
I didn't really, like I said, focused on what my recovery was like or what, arm angles it was. Yeah, it wasn't probably the smartest throw that I made either when I did it. But yeah, again, I was 14. I thought I had the freedom to do it too, just being that young and stuff. And I've been able to understand like, hey, like there's certain points where you can do that, and there's also certain points where it's not like probably the smartest thing to do.
Yeah.
Which I fell into that category. But no, I mean, like I said, it happens. It's natural. My body wasn't ready for it, and I've been able to understand myself more from it, I think, too, in a way, from my strength lifting and my process in there as well of like, hey, like, yeah, I could go over and rip curls for an hour, or I could really be focused and do a couple back exercises with a couple shoulder things and then do curls, and have every attribute in my arm to be ready to go. So I try to help the guys when they're in the weight room, like understand that and just be able to, understand like, hey, this is actually going to help everything else that you're trying to do. Whether it sucks and it's uncomfortable and you don't want to do it, like you have to, and holding that accountability to yourself because nobody else is going to do it. So, yeah.
So your family is a motivator for you.
Yes.
How have they supported you through those ups and downs?
They've been right there, which has been awesome. Definitely that time period was tough for sure, just because I think for them, they didn't understand like how I was in pain. I think as it got to the point of me having to get surgery, they started to realize like he actually is very understanding of what's actually going on. And they were there throughout the whole recovery itself too, which was awesome. And at the time with COVID and then going into high school, and I really was trying to rush it, and they're just like, "Hey, you can slow down a little bit. You don't have to go full throttle right now." But yeah, no, they've been my backbone and always been there and for support and just just being able to talk as well. They're the loudest in the stands when I was coming back, and I think that was also very special to see, just being able to understand like, hey, yeah, I am back and we're ready to go. And it kind of took the nerves and the negative thoughts out of my head when I was just thinking about like, I don't even know if I can make a throw right now, and I don't know if it's going to hold up, and all those things. And they're like, dude, you're ready. Like, you're ready to go. Like, you're ready to go. You're just thinking, don't think about it and just go out there and just have some fun with it. You've been waiting for so long to do this. Like, you can go out there and just play, have fun with it. Which I thought was definitely something that I needed at the time, just to relax a little bit and just be like, all right, yeah, no, we're ready. The process that I've done and the work that I've done to get back here to this point to be able to play, like, this is the fun part. Like, now you can just go out there and have some fun and play. You don't have to sit on the bench and just watch and be in a cast and contemplating when you're going to play next or if you're going to play next. It's like, hey, you're here. Like, enjoy this moment right now. And they've been there every step of the way ever since. So, yeah, I love them. I can't thank them enough for it.
Awesome.
Yep.
Shout out, family.
Yeah,
You're
shout
awesome.
out, fam.
Okay, so you are a sport management major.
Yes.
What made you choose that path?
I've always been in love with sports, I think. I remember in high school, I think it was my junior year or senior year, We went to Gillette Stadium, and it was like a select few of us in like a sports media class that were able to go over, and we got this sheet and a different sheet with like maybe like a packet, and it had all these players on it. And Robert Kraft came in, and he put it on the table. He's like, I want you all to just construct a team. Gave us a salary cap, gave us all these players. He was like, I need 60-man roster. Go ahead.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, this is so fun. This is sick. And I just sat there where all of us were just going through the numbers, going through everything. I was like, I could definitely see myself doing this, just being in control of a sports team because I love sports so much and just being around it, but also being in the behind the scenes basically of it. Just piqued my interest. And being here, I've been able to develop and see it even deeper. Different roles and operations and management and logistics and all those things. It's just all intertwined into one. And no, I love it. I love it. It's awesome. I love being around it. And, just even going on like Sports Center or like on Instagram, and you just see the feeds and you know what these words actually mean in a little deeper sense. And, some guys signing contracts and stuff like that. We just sit down and we talk about them. Like when Shohei signed for like $700 million for 10 years, we're like, what does that actually look like? What is that actually going to be like? Because LA's luxury tax is different than Boston and all these places. So yeah, I mean, you like look at the numbers, you're like, oh my God, this guy signed for XYZ, but like we're actually looking at it like this is actually what it looks like.
Interesting.
Yeah, which I found awesome.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So how do you balance everything from classes to practice to life in general during the season?
The best I can, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely better now with my time management than I was as a freshman and as a sophomore, I think for sure. You're on the road a lot. I think we've been on the road for 7 weekends this year.
Oh, wow.
6 or 7 weekends. I don't mean to make the meme, but like, yeah.
Oh, no.
Just, you never hear. How you're going to be able to manage your classes and be on time and stuff like that. And I think I've always been a guy that tries to be as close with their professors as I can be. More just showing up and showing face and just trying to make a connection like that. And then also just being on top of all my work as well. And could I sit on my phone in the hotel room and just doom scroll? Probably. Or could I do my homework and get my stuff done and be on track? Yeah, I probably could do. So, we tried to all meet into like one hotel room, and we'll all bring our laptops in there and we'll knock out all the work that we have to, and then we'll go and hang out, So, yeah, it's not the easiest thing in the world, and it's also a blessing that I'm able to do it as well. So I don't try to take it for granted, but it's definitely not the best thing in the world. I don't always enjoy it, but it's not the best doing an essay on the bus, but like you got to write the essay. So
gotta get it done.
Do it on the bus.
All right. So looking back so far, what has baseball taught you about yourself?
Ooh.
I know, kind of deep question.
Yeah. I think the two that come to mind are patient and resilient in a way. I think throughout my time and playing the game, like you're going to have those seasons that you're like, I don't even know what just happened. Like that's not me. And then you're going to have like the best seasons of your life as well. And how understanding and patient can you be with it as well. I definitely started out years where I probably didn't have a hit for 2 weeks, and then you come out and you're patient enough and you're with your process enough that you go out and you have 8 on a weekend. Like it can change like that, and I think that's the beauty of this game. And it's very different than other sports as well, just because of how different each pitcher is that can emulate a different outcome for yourself. So I think just being patient, resilient, and just being able to power through those tougher moments of like, yeah, like you went 0 for 4 today. It is what it is. And can you be ready for tomorrow? I think those two are probably the two biggest ones for me. Yeah.
What are you focused on right now, both on and off the field?
That's another good one. How well am I stacking day to day? I think would be my answer. Just like I said, you can have a great day today and you can even have a better one tomorrow, but like how well are you taking what you had today and bringing it into tomorrow? And even just learning from today as well. Learning what your body feels like. If it's a little off, like, hey, what's our process then today? And if you're feeling really good and something doesn't work out today, and even though you're feeling really good, like, hey, yeah, it's natural. But what are you going to bring it into tomorrow? I think that was the biggest thing for me this year was just understanding how to stack days and be 1% better each and every day. And if you do that at the end of the line, you're going to be at 100%, whether it was good, bad, or ugly in between. And it was just weird overall, then it is what it is. It's still at 100. So you keep stacking days and you keep learning and developing and growing as a human and as a person. And, you'll be there at the end of the line and be completely fine and even better than you were when you started. And I think that's the best part. And is, I love the illustration of like you start out with the square, and the more that you roll it and roll it and roll it, it's gonna eventually turn into a circle. And it's gonna go.
I like that.
So, you keep going and you keep pushing it. Like it's gonna smooth out at some point. Whether it's a good, bad, it's been ugly. It's gonna pave its path. The light's gonna be at the end of the tunnel at some point, and how resilient and how patient and how focused are you as to your process to get there. I think is what I've learned the most this year and what I've tried to take into every day. So, yeah, I think that's my answer.
You have a very strong mindset.
I've been in situations and experienced a lot of things that I think have helped me develop that, and I think, again, with my support system, my parents as well, just being able to see what they've gone through and stuff like that as well has been able to help me out with it. And then just learning, you kind of listen to how pros answer certain things and, how their process is and how can you take a little piece of that into yours and keep growing and keep developing. And I love asking questions to guys that are in certain spots that I want to be in because you got there. How did you get there? You were probably in my shoes at one point. That, what was your process? What did you take that uncomfortable step forward? Did you like it? No. Did you still like it now? I loved it because I needed to do it, and I think that's what helped me grow over the course of this year for sure. Is just being able to sit in some uncomfortable situations and just be able to just say, hey, like if it doesn't feel good, like you still did it. You still check it off your list. So yeah, I thank you for that too.
Yeah, of course. Oh, it's really, really powerful. It's very powerful.
Thanks.
All right. My last question for you is what is one piece of advice you would want to give your freshman year self? I know. I love stumping people at the very last question.
Breathe a little bit. There's so much going on. You're adjusting to new school, new life. You're away from home for many. I've been blessed that I'm still 15 minutes away, that I could run home if I really wanted to, but that's not for everybody as well. Just breathe a little bit. Understand that everything's going to work its course out. Everything has and everything will. It's just an uncomfortable position that you're in right now. And the gray cloud might be over your head right now, and that's completely fine. Like, that's fine. Like, it's going to happen, and then the sunshine comes out at some point. And just being able to understand, like I said, like having the process of growing every day and understanding and learning and failing. It's natural. It's going to happen. But yeah, breathe a little bit.
I like that. It's a good piece of advice.
Just breathe a little bit and just be able to focus in on what you're trying to do and have that head up. Yeah.
Very nice. Well, Cam, thank you for coming on the podcast today.
Appreciate it.
Yes. And we will see you guys in the next one.